Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Erin, and I'm now going to talk about the residential waste. So in addition to industrial waste, the waste produced from individual is actually as harmful as the waste produced from the factory. So because of people's laziness and irresponsibility, sometimes we are just really failed to do the recycling and will end up the garbage into our environments we live in. So basically, for example, some people may directly litter the garbage into the river and the coastal area. And second, if those waste is collected and transported into landfill sites, it may also have some risk to escaping. So the garbage may also escaping into our environments. For example, if the garbage are blown away by the winds, so it may ends up in the river and then directly go to the ocean. So when those garbage ends up at our coastal area, so for example, the ocean currents may push those trash to a dryer, which is a slow moving whirlpools, so that the garbage patch may be generated, like the picture I have shown. So actually now, there are actually, as the map has shown, there are actually 5 major garbage patches which are located in our ocean in nowadays. So for example, the first one, it is said that there are a big garbage patch located in the center of the North Pacific, and also in the South Pacific, there's also the big garbage patch located. And second, there's also a big garbage patch located in the North Atlantic, and also as well as the South Atlantic. There are also some garbage floating on the surface. And in addition to the Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean, there's also the big one located at the Indian Ocean, which is a huge issue that all the human beings should be pay attention to. So based on a data which is produced by the Ocean Conservancy, which is a non-profit environmental group, there are actually, for the top 10 items which are set to end up at the coastal area, there are actually 8 out of 10 are plastic products, which is really surprising. So for example, for the number 1 waste, which is said to end up in the coastal area, it is cigarettes. And then it is said that a cigarette can actually be easily mistaken as food by marine animals, so that there will be a lot of marine animals will consume those toxic chemicals and to make them really harmful. And as for the other kinds of plastic waste, such as food wrappers, plastic bottles, plastic bags, and straws, they will also even pose more harm to our environment. And actually, based on a scientific study, it is said that more than 12 million tons of plastic is entering into our oceans every year. So plastic pollution is said to be the most serious threat to our ocean environments in nowadays. And also because plastic cannot be degraded, but just instead to break down into smaller and smaller pieces. Therefore, it means that plastic can never be disappeared, so it will actually pose really great harm to the entire marine ecosystem. And when those plastic waste is degraded into smaller and smaller pieces, which is less than 5 millimeters long, we can call this waste as microplastic. So it is said that microplastic can be easily mistaken as food by some marine creatures, and then because of the food chain, so when the small fishes eat this microplastics, so they will, when they eat those toxins, they will absorb those chemicals inside. And when those small fishes are eaten up by larger marine animals, it is said that it will increase the concentration of the chemicals inside larger animals' body. And so it means that, for example, the top of the hierarchy of the food chain, namely human beings, so we are actually under huge risk of consuming those toxins, because I think that most of the people like to eat seafood. Yeah. And in addition to microplastic, microbeads is a tiny pieces of manufactured polyethylene plastic, which is usually added into health and cosmetic products. So for example, the picture has shows, cleanser and toothpaste, they all contain certain kinds of microbeads inside. And it is said that microbeads can really pose great harm to the ocean, to the environments we live in. So actually, because microbeads is really small, so it is kind of too small to be filtered out by the wastewater plants. So it means that those toxins will kind of remain in the water and cannot be removed. So it means that those microbeads will kind of end up flowing into the ocean, and then it will kind of cause some potential stress to the marine life. So because of the industrial waste and residential waste, it really generates some current situation that we should not be ignored. So Emily will continue this part.